know that as a mother, we will all live here smiling. I thank you, and may you please welcome Madam Vice President.
Thank you very much, Minister. Please allow me to address everybody who is here, the ministers, union leaders and members of the press. Actually, I think I can address everyone as colleagues and friends. Is that okay? All right, then, colleagues and friends, good morning. And Minister, thank you for the kind introduction and for putting the smiles on all our faces. Yes, it's a difficult time, and we need to show concern. So this explains the primary reason for being here. I'll go on to read my address, but at the same time, I also want to respond to some of the feel I'm getting in the room. I'm getting the sense that this is a shared responsibility. So I'm not the only one who has left what I'm doing. You've also left whatever you are doing, so that we can all come together and find solutions. So I want to thank you for it. I was made aware earlier in the day that you had a meeting. So also thank you for your indulgence, because we have more or less disrupted your meeting. But I'm also very, very much concerned that at the end of your meeting, you get more details that the ministers can share with us, so that we can all team together in finding a solution. It's not an amusing situation. I've gone to the market, I've gone to school, I've gone wherever I need to go to, and I need to return. And having queues all over the place is not the most effective way of anybody spending their time, especially if you consider the kinds of frustrations that the situation is causing. As the Chief of Staff, my Chief of Staff has said, we can also become victims of our own success. You know, when we saw the crowds in town, we all thought, oh, it's just Christmas, which was more or less expected. But it doesn't look like the crowd has left. And therefore, there are persistent issues, and we need to resolve them. So the transport sector seemed to have been waiting to exhale, and you are now exhaling, which is good. But in the process of exhaling, we need to team up and resolve the issues. So these are some of the comments I need to make. And I also appreciate your impatience in getting the problems resolved. Yes, even if for 10 years you haven't had support, it doesn't mean that going forward you should never get support. So we understand, but we also want to plead for your patience. We all know the situation. We all know all kinds of deaths and situations we need to resolve. We are not complaining. We are just asking everybody's support, everybody's patience in finding solutions that work for the benefit of all of us in this country. So on behalf of His Excellency the President, I want to thank you very, very much for your support and cooperation, which you have demonstrated so far. And I know we can count on it going forward. And especially for making the effort to meet with us this morning. I'm very, very grateful. And I also want to thank you for your support for the 15% reduction or so? Yes. And that's important because it cushions commuters. And who are the commuters? If they're not from my home, excuse me to say they are from your home. So they are it's about all of us. So thank you very, very much. But recently we have received all the reports about the stresses that commuters are facing, especially during rush hours in the morning and worse in the evening. I saw one and it wasn't amusing at all, you know. And sometimes the problem is caused by all kinds of situations, including even exploitation by some of our own drivers, some long queues at bus stops and terminals, congestion, and all kinds of stresses that come with this situation. And we are informed that our fellow countrymen and women we want them to be aware that government is not blind to the situation, that we have not seen, that we don't care, we think it's somebody's problem, it's everybody's problem. That is why I started by saying that we need to team up to find the solutions. We believe that the problems have solutions. I may not have any of them. You may have so many of them, and we are always willing to learn. So please continue to team up with us as we find solutions to problems that bedevil our country. And we know the roles of the public sector in transportation. I mean, you carry the burden, if I may use the word. You carry the responsibility, and our job is to ensure that we are lightening the burden so that you can play your roles well as a private sector. This is one way that we evaluate the presence and the input of the private sector. So we depend on you for all of us to reach our workplaces, our schools, our markets, wherever we need to go. And this is also the trust of your responsibility. And we know and we expect that this responsibility will be grounded in fairness, in respect. So I want to encourage open communication for all of us to resolve the issues. So this meeting is very, very important for us. We want to ensure that no passenger feels exploited, whether through fares or queues or even lapses in safety protocols. We need to promote fairness, transparency, accountability in everything that we do, regardless the sector. So I encourage that we also communicate clearly, fairly, respectfully with our passengers or the people who patronize our businesses. So please, with all respect, I want you as leaders to monitor your membership in order to prevent unnecessary negative comments and outcomes. So I want to pledge that the government continues to provide the necessary support to improve the welfare of passengers and of drivers. We have the big push. Fixing the roads is very, very important for us. And at that time, it's not just for the drivers or the passengers, but for all of us. It has implications for every sector, the road, the transport. If I'm sick and I'm going to the hospital, and the driver tells me that where I live has a bad road, and so he's not coming to support me, we can all know the implications. So it's a very, very important intervention. So we want to modernize and expand our transport services to promote and improve access, to ensure affordability and security too for the motoring public. We are taking steps. So we are therefore taking steps to improve the public transport system, not only by retooling, but also, of the state services, but especially of the private sector too. And I hope that answers your concern about the support that you need. So I'm happy to see the smile on you coming back. So, in this vein, His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metromas, Ayalolo, and the private sector. And the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term. We also have plans to ensure that those that need to be repaired, that the process will be expedited to ensure they can put more buses on the road as soon and as quickly as possible. So my pleas are, let us continue to work together to develop a transportation system that prioritizes fairness, efficiency, excellence. And I know, and you know that we can. We are relying on each other to make that possible. And we can do this by upholding high standards, treating passengers with respect. And by so doing, we will also strengthen the trust of Ghanaians in the private transport sector. Thank you very much for your time.